And if you look at it, your muscle mass is a metabolically active tissue, and it's heavy and it demands a lot of energy. So what do you think your body's going to get rid of when it doesn't have a lot of calories to deal with? It doesn't have a lot of calories to use to recuperate that metabolically active tissue, and it needs energy. It's most likely going to use your muscle mass in order to create more energy. So this is going to be a video that I do a little bit less organized than my other videos. I just want to talk quickly about a topic. Because it takes me so long to edit and put out some of those videos that require a lot of research, I can't do them as often. So I'm going to continue to do those, but I'm also just going to continue to do these quick little rant videos about topics that I feel are important just to get the information out there. If you need any further substantiation or some evidence on something that I might state, just let me know in the comments or contact me and I can send you any links or references that I may be aware of that substantiate this evidence that I propose to you. So today, what we're going to talk about is going to be steps. Basically, this is going to be about why I think everybody should track their steps on a daily basis. Now, why is tracking your steps important? Tracking your steps is important because your steps ultimately are a major contributor to your NEAT, or your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is the biggest contributing factor to your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. So that is important because if your steps are not consistent, then it is very hard to make objective assessments on your progress. Let me give you some examples of this. Say you are in a hypocaloric diet and you are cutting, trying to get ready for a show. Your coach or you decide to bump your cardio up to an hour. At this point, you're maybe experiencing symptoms of metabolic adaptation. Your fidgeting starts to slow down. You're not blinking as fast. Everything's just slowing down because your body is trying to preserve energy. So say you do your 1 hour of cardio, but now to compensate for that, you are also sleeping all day. And what happens is your scale weight stalls and your body fat percentage does not move. So what's happening is that you're not tracking your steps consistently. So to compensate for less energy, your body is, you are sleeping all day, you have less energy, and you're not conscious that you're not moving as much as before prep. So a great way to remedy this is to look at your daily steps and your daily activity and make sure that that stays up while you are also in a caloric deficit and doing cardio on top of that. Now, that's not the best example because I wouldn't recommend doing stairs or some sort of steady state cardio for a given period of time. I like to distribute it throughout the day. But let me give you an example of maybe a hypercaloric or a massing phase. Now, this has caused problems for myself because I work a high activity job, so I do 10,000 steps a day. Now, when I had a layoff of work and I was off work for a good amount of time, my steps dropped to about 6,000. And this became very difficult because then I just started accumulating fat at the same calorie amount that I was eating prior when I was doing lots of steps. And luckily, I tracked my steps, so I was able to notice that and I was able to drop my calories accordingly. But if I didn't have those steps to look at, I may be scratching my head wondering what the heck is going on, and I can't objectively say, maybe give a good estimate of how many calories my energy expenditure dropped per day. So it's really awesome to have that daily steps to objectively measure maybe how many calories that you may be burning from your daily activity going off your body weight and your steps. So most phones, and I'll pull it up on my phone right now, most phones have a step counter in their health app. So this is for iPhone. Android also has one because I did have an Android prior. So mine are a little inconsistent this week, but it's great to look at the step average throughout the week. Hopefully this can focus. It's great to look at the step average throughout the week. Right now I'm trying to stay above 7,000, and as my steps go up, I'll probably hit more towards 10,000 because I'm starting back at work. I would say at the minimum, if you aren't trying to do this, most people should be trying to get anywhere from 3,500 to 4,500 a day. That's what I would recommend as far as getting 3 10-minute walks briskly after meals to keep blood glucose at baseline. And that's why it is really important to do that, especially in an off season. Other than that, I think getting enough steps in the off season keeps your appetite up. and in a contest prep scenario, it helps you continue to make progress. I wouldn't recommend things such as a Stairmaster or HIIT, because what happens is they cause further fatigue on your body from training. And since you are hypocaloric generally when you're cutting and you're doing stairs, your risk of overtraining is much greater because you don't have the calories and oftentimes the sleep to be able to recuperate properly from that strenuous of exercise. So I would always recommend low intensity steady state cardio, so just walking, and I like to walk briskly after meals, and titrating that up if you no longer wish to pull calories or have pulled calories and then want to do something other than pull calories to continue to make progress. So you may notice that you pulled calories, you lose weight for a couple weeks, and you stall at a certain step count. You stall in body fat loss. So then you may titrate your steps up 500 to 1,000 on average per day to be able to further increase your NEAT and lose more body fat. And that would be the approach that I see a lot of contest prep coaches now using, because they have observed anecdotally that their clients tend to lose muscle mass in their legs and throughout their body when they're doing excessive amounts of cardio. And I personally have experienced this as well. So, I mean, and if you look at it, your muscle mass is a metabolically active tissue, and it's heavy and it demands a lot of energy. So what do you think your body's going to get rid of when it doesn't have a lot of calories to deal with? It doesn't have a lot of calories to use to recuperate that metabolically active tissue, and it needs energy. It's most likely going to use your muscle mass in order to create more energy. Bodybuilding and as a whole should step away from HIIT training and Stairmaster and other really high fatiguing cardio. I would say another thing that is hypothesized that I really like by Stan Efforting is that using a load to create more caloric burn is a great way to increase your calories out. And the way he likes to use this is doing things such as farmer's carries, 20 rep sets, minimizing rest periods in between sets. And I personally think this is a great way to further your calories out when you're in a contest prep scenario, because you are still loading your muscles and still showing them that there is a demand to keep the muscle tissue on. Now, you have to be cautious about this because you don't want to overdo volume, because again, then you'd run into the same problem that you may if you were doing the Stairmaster. But at least in this case, you are loading the muscle and you are still showing your body there's a demand to keep that tissue. But it is also important because when you are hypocaloric, you may need to increase your training volume in order to throw off the catabolic stimulus from the hypocaloric diet. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Track your steps, look at your step average throughout the week, adjust it as needed, and if you need any more details, just let me know in the comments down below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. I'll try to do more of these like really quick rants about some topics that I feel are important, and maybe not be as thorough as I'd like to be with the research and such, just so I can get them out more quickly. So let me know, subscribe. It was great talking to you. Have a great day, okay?